Those one of those days that kind of symbolised it. Oh, okay, here we go. Right, view request. Oh my gosh, here we go. Right, okay, where am I? Where am I?
Hi
Hello.
there.
How's it going?
I'm good. I'm a bit tired. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Sorry about this. I was worried that you weren't going to turn up.
No, 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 no. It's my fault. My phone died.
No, that's fine, man. Honestly, I've got
Yes.
I've got so many cables all over the place. I've kind of forgot to do the same thing, and
Ah, cool.
I've got this iPad I'm trying to record this on, and it sort of gets 1% every hour because I've
Okay.
lost. You know, when you get the iPad charger specifically for it,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
using a phone one, which is ruining. It's wasting my time, Ben.
Okay, shit.
It's driving me mad. It's ruining my
Yeah.
life. Anyway, how the hell are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's sunny in Sweden, in Stockholm, and I woke up at 6:45 this morning. I went to
Why?
the gym at 7 because we had a press conference for this show called Allsång på Skansen in Sweden, which is like a classic gathering show with a lot of artists, and we're singing together. And this year I'm having my own hour in this show, so it's like a
Wow.
pretty
And
special for
is that only Swedish artists, or is that kind
on
of all over?
no, it's only Swedish artists, but sometimes I think we've had some like big artists in the show.
Hmm.
But now during COVID we can't have any like, artists from
Well, that's
outside
interesting.
Sweden.
It's interesting that you've said that, like, you have big artists. Is that, are you kind of saying that surely you're a big artist, right? Would you say you are?
Uh, like because of the this like honor that I just got having my own hour in this show. So it's after the show, the original show, I'm having my own concert for 1 hour, and
Right.
that's pretty big. We've only had that for 10 years, and the artists before me they have been pretty big. So
Really?
um, I'm almost there.
Do you know what though? It's interesting you say that because I almost feel like you you should in a way never feel like you're there
Exactly,
because
yeah.
because that's when you stop, right? It's when you stop trying as hard, maybe.
I think so. Wait, so that's my manager's dog yelling. I call him in English. I call him penis
What?
because he
What
looks
was
like a,
his name?
because he looks like a penis. His name is Menta.
Okay.
The alcohol. You don't have that in England.
What's it called?
Ferment Menta.
Never heard of it.
Fernet Menta. I don't know, but he's
Different
he's
world.
named after a drink or something, or like a something, but I call him
Well,
Penis. That's why that's his name. The
and
the dog.
what type of dog is this? Why does he look like
It's
a penis?
a dash hound.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes,
So we think they look like sausages, but I
sausages. Yeah,
guess
and
yeah,
what
yeah.
what does a sausage look like?
I guess yeah. You've gone straight to the point there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were talking about like how you feel like you haven't sort of you still feel like you're not there
Wait,
yet in a way.
no.
Like, because
Uh,
surely you should. I mean, the things that you've done, surely. I mean, if you're not there,
Thanks, man.
then I've not even started.
No, no,
So,
no. But you can't compare with anyone. Like you got to start from yourself. You
yeah,
you always have to start from where you come from
yeah,
and what you want to achieve. And I think like some artists just like they're pretty happy with releasing songs. Uh,
yeah. I'm
but
one of
mine,
them. Yeah,
and you know, like, and I'm also one of them. But I also have a goal to be on the big stages, not only in
mm,
Sweden but around the world. So,
right.
and that's a pretty like big, a big goal to
Yeah,
achieve,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
and
hard.
and it's pretty hard, but you just have to work pretty hard
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to manage
You've
that.
just got to
I'm
do
just
it.
gonna, I'll be out for 4 seconds because I have to record this on the
Oh,
phone. I
sweet.
think I'll disappear.
Oh, sure. Oh, actually, I don't know. Actually, I don't even know if you do need to record it because I'm going to post it on my Instagram anyway, so
Okay,
it'll
but I just
probably,
did, so
yeah,
it's fine.
great, good. Well, double the safety of
Yeah,
it.
you'll
Um,
have to excuse me during this podcast because, as I just said, or as the world knows, we've been in lockdown for, or we've not been able to travel around the world. So I haven't been spoken English for
yeah.
like a year and a half. So I'm pretty like blah, blah.
Oh
So
my
it's pretty
God!
hard to speak
Wow.
English again because it's been a while.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
guess, wow, that's crazy because we've been out of lockdown now for, a couple of months.
yeah.
Well, maybe. I mean, it's weird. I mean, I've come back from a tour, and it was
Oh
pretty
wow.
much, yeah. To that's the point of how normal it is
With an
now.
audience and
Yeah,
everything.
with live audience, everything.
But
Yeah.
you guys have the masks on.
No,
No.
no, not in the crowd.
And how big is the crowd?
So basically, it was social distancing. So it was
Okay.
seated. So
Okay.
that's the only difference. And the difference is, a 2,000 cap venue is like 300 people now. So,
Okay. But
so it,
still, you guys
but
are having
still,
concerts. That's
it's
amazing.
real people, man. Yeah, and it
Wow.
was fully charged, man. Honestly, I can't. You are not going to believe it. How excited people are. So you haven't done a gig for a year and a half. Is that what you're saying?
No, only TV performances. And I think my last gig, like
Yeah.
physical gig I did was in Norway, November 2019. Yeah. It's pretty
Oh
insane.
my God!
Pretty insane.
Wow.
Or I actually performed at the Grammys 2020, but
Right.
that was with a very boring audience, you know. It's the Grammys, so it's only the
So
guys or the people that work in music business.
wait a minute. So is this the Grammys that happened on? So it was on the TV, wasn't it? But it was just completely social distanced.
Exactly. This was the Grammy you're talking about was the one this year,
Okay.
which I also performed at. But I performed
Okay.
the year before, 2020, just before everything started.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So this was
Wow.
in January, I think, and I just managed to go. I went to LA for like 10 days in February, and then people
Yeah.
were talking about this COVID thing, and I was
Yeah.
supposed to go back for a few months. And
Mm.
like the day after I got home, we were all not like forced to go full lockdown, but we all almost everyone in Sweden went pretty
Yeah.
kind of locked down for like 2 to 3 weeks.
And has it been quite bad there?
It's not. I don't know actually. Like we've never been. We've never been full lockdown here.
Oh wow, really?
We've just been social distancing, and like the restaurants been closing at 8
Wow.
8 p.m. and we've
Okay, so
only
there's a
been,
curfew, yeah.
yes, and we've been having or we've never had masks, right? No, only if you want to. And and
Do
and
you know what
then
though? In
no,
here we don't you don't have to wear a mask here,
no.
but if you don't, there's kind of a sort of communal dickhead kind of
Oh
feeling.
yeah, yeah,
There's kind of
yeah. No, and the thing about the Swedish people, it's like it's the opposite. So if you're seeing someone with a mask, you're like dickhead. It's so weird. But no, but like we're pretty good at keeping distance anyway.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't like the Swedes are not that comfortable with hugging, and so
yeah,
we
yeah,
kind of like this social distancing thing.
yeah.
The only thing that I kind of like notice is that we can't be more than four people around a table at restaurants. So that's a
Right.
pretty hard thing to, if we're five in the family, we need
Yeah.
two tables, and
Wow,
everything
gosh.
closes at 8 p.m. So like I haven't been out clubbing since
Yeah.
2019.
Well, I mean, I haven't been out clubbing since 2010, but for many different reasons.
How old are you, man? How old?
Well, do you know what? I'm not that old. I still feel like I'm 20, but I'm 29.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sort of. It's weird actually. I felt about 18 until I was about 28, and now all of the things that I used to enjoy, like when I
Yeah.
used to go on tour, I used
Mm-hmm.
to just party a lot, and I mean, also I've had a colourful past. I had a bit of a drug addiction for a while, which
Oh,
was
okay.
tough. But in the last, I've been clean now for 10 months, and
Wow.
in that 10 months, I feel like I've turned into a 50-year-old man. I think,
I get that. I get that.
but I like it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think I really enjoy not partying now and not drinking on tour and just kind of feeling good. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot in
I
healthiness.
I totally get that. I'm actually like I'm not the guy that loves to party.
Mm.
I'm not. I do like to spend time at the restaurants
Yeah, yeah.
and drinking wine. I love wine.
Mm.
But I'm not the one who's like, drinking shots and
And why
uh,
is that? Is that because you've got quite a driven personality? You want to be able to work hard the next day, or is it just you're just not into it?
I think it's both. Sometimes you can't be out partying because you are having a gig the day after and you have a voice, so
Mm.
you need to sing. Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm pretty jealous. I'm pretty jealous when it comes to like my friends that are DJing because they can
Yeah.
party, all night long, and then they just stand on the
Yeah.
stage the day after, pretty like still drunk, and they don't have to care about their
Yeah.
voices. So, but I don't know. It's like I've never been the
Does
guy
your voice go? Does your voice go if you drink? Is it kind of like? Is it
immediately,
quite?
immediately.
Really?
And the day
Wow.
after it takes like 6 to 7 hours, and then I'm back, because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this. But
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the music that is playing at the clubs.
Mhm. Mhm.
As soon as they're starting to play like old school disco, then I'm on the dance floor.
Yeah. 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 Is
uh,
that your kind of vibe then?
that's my
Is
vibe.
so? This is an interesting because for me personally, the music I make isn't really the music I listen to. Well, it is. It's
Mm,
starting to become now,
cool.
but it hasn't really been. Whereas, would you say that the music you make is exactly what you would? Would you be a fan of yourself?
Without sounding
Arrogant,
brag,
I guess. Yeah,
arrogant or brag. Yes,
and I think that's a good thing.
I
I
I
think that's
do,
brilliant.
and it's only because I want to write the songs that I myself want to listen to,
Yeah,
if you know what
yeah,
I mean. And my dream when I was younger was always like when I was at the clubs, I was like, I wish they would play my songs one day.
yeah.
And then it took like 2 to 3 years, and it was one night I was at the club and they started to play my song, and I thought I would be pretty happy, but I just felt pretty like embarrassed and like, oh shit, no, now people,
Really?
yeah. But I think it depends if you're,
And why was that? Is it because you weren't into the song anymore? Or
no, I think it was because people were staring, and I would have wished that I wasn't there.
yeah,
I just,
gotcha.
because I want to see people dance to my music, but I don't want to be there myself, if you know
Oh,
what I
that
mean.
is so interesting. I think the reason that you might have found that weird is because everyone knew that you were the
Yeah,
guy.
and,
Because
and then
I had that
exactly,
once
yeah.
where I was in a club and there was a song that I featured on
Okay.
that came on and
Hmm.
everyone started dancing, but
Yeah.
no one had a clue that it was my voice
No.
because it was a feature with a guy called Dimension, and it was the
Okay.
first time I ever got to watch people in a club dancing to my song, and I loved it
That's
because
pretty
I was
sick.
like the secret fly on the wall.
Yeah.
But I guess you didn't like it because it was kind of hey your song, it's like,
Yeah, and also I felt like I wasn't here, they maybe wouldn't have played my song. You know what I mean? I'm like, do they play my song because I'm here? Then it's not like, then it doesn't, then it's not worth it, you know?
yeah. But do you not think that might be just in your head?
Maybe. I'm an overthinker, so
Yeah, yeah.
probably. But it also depends. Like, I do not only write music that's dance music. I love to write
Mm,
ballads, and
yeah.
usually the things that I listen to when I'm having like, my Spotify on when I'm
Mm.
cooking dinner. It's basically just ballads.
Wow, then you must have got me then a couple of times because I'm cut all over those ballad playlists.
No, but I love listening to like old school Bee Gees ballads and um,
Yeah, man.
David Foster, Patty Austin, James Ingram, all those
Mm,
classics.
wow. I
A
think
lot
that
of
for me, I feel like it doesn't really matter what it is. As for me, everything is about the song. It
yeah,
has to be a good song, and I don't
100%.
really mind whether it's the wrong. You know, there's certain genres that I really am struggling with, and I really
Hmm.
want to try and get like the grime world and drill
Yeah,
and K-pop, and I kind of listen. I'm like, God, I wish I could
yeah.
understand it because I know it's amazing, but it's just. And I said this to my girlfriend actually once. I was like,
Hmm.
I'm not really getting this. And then she said, well, it's not for you.
No, exactly. She's right. She's right.
She
And
is right, yeah.
and usually when I I I don't know if you feel the same way, but sometime or like almost every time I write a song and we go home from the studio, I always beg them to bounce a version with my
Hmm.
song up pitched because I don't like to listen to my vocals that much. And
Oh
because
no,
when
I love the sound of my own voice.
oh no, I don't because when I'm listening to the demo, I'm starting to like get distracted by the way that I sing or like, oh shit, now my voice sounds like that. But if I listen to my song or the song up pitched, then I'm just focusing on the song.
Wow, that's so interesting. I'm going to try that. I'm literally going to go back to the studio and do
You
that
have
with
to, you
every
have to,
song
or you
because I
should
guess you
download an
start.
app because I just downloaded
Oh,
an app called Amazing, and you can just switch tempos and like what do you call it? Tunes,
wow, yeah, yeah, yeah. Pitch,
like
yeah.
pitched how much you want. It's amazing.
And in a way, is that also because when you pitch it up, it doesn't sound like you, and
No,
therefore you're not you're listening to it as if someone else would who's
yeah.
never heard of you. Is that
It
essentially what you're
usually
saying?
sounds like a 18-year-old girl, and that's amazing because it sounds like a pop song then, like an old
Wow.
school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the question is, when you come to release it, do you keep
Hmm.
it in that tempo, or do you bring it back down? I mean, what's the because obviously if you like it in that tempo, you can't release it like that, can you?
I could. Then
I
it's
mean, but then it wouldn't sound like
we
you.
Oh, you mean the tempo wise?
Yeah,
Usually when I change the tempo, I usually go back and record the song
and
in
re-record it that
and re-record
speed.
it. Yeah. But I think I have one song. I don't know which one it is, but which we actually like just released it with an up with the up tempo version, and you could
Wow.
hear if you listen closely, like if you listen very help me
Carefully, I guess. Yeah.
carefully, you could hear that it's something different about the voice,
Yeah.
but it's not that big of a difference
Wow.
actually.
And I guess, and are you the kind of guy that writes with other people, or are you sort of a lot more into
Yeah,
writing on your own?
uh, both.
Right.
Like I just released two parts of a Swedish album here in Sweden, and the part two of that album I wrote very much with my friends and not in the studio. We were hanging and having dinner, and we went to uh, my my grandparents' house. What do you call
Oh,
it?
nice.
Like um,
Grandparents. That is what you
grandparents.
call it. Yeah, you've
Yeah,
nailed that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I nailed that. Thank you. And but our goal was not to write a song. Our goal was to hang out, and then we picked up the guitar or the piano and we wrote a song. And
Oh,
that's and
sick.
I
Yeah.
I kind of like missed that because
Mm.
usually when you write in English, you go to a session and your goal is to write a song. And
This is the thing, right? This is the weirdest
I
thing
know.
about. I didn't realize it was just a UK thing. But because when I was signed with Warner for 3 years, and all
Hmm.
they
Okay,
did,
cool.
all they did was just put me in writing sessions.
Yeah, yeah,
Every day a writing session. I came out with about 250 songs that I'll never use. You
no,
know, because they were all written with a stranger. It's like, hey,
I
it's such
know.
a weird concept, isn't it? Here's this stranger that
Yeah,
you're now gonna open your heart up to for 4 hours and
yeah.
try and come up with a hit. It's like
I know it's
you'll never.
crazy. No, and I could totally be honest with you. Like 3 out of 10 sessions, you come out with a great song with
Yeah.
people that you've never met.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it works. This is the crazy thing about
Sometimes
it.
it works,
Sometimes it does.
and that's just maybe it's a coincidence, or it's just like a pretty good um match of people in the
I think
room.
it is, but I just feel, I honestly believe that, you know, if it's so tricky, isn't it? Because I know personally that I struggle to open up as much as I would like to when I'm writing
Mm,
lyrics on my own.
yeah,
And I haven't really done that much, but recently I have been doing just writing on my own. And the things I say are so different that I'm just noticing that.
I can imagine. I can imagine because you don't
Because you
have
don't
to.
care anymore. You don't have to
No,
worry about what someone's going to say when you say, "What if I about to say this?" I mean, that's why people say, "Oh, you just need to find the perfect people to work with all the time."
yeah.
But I don't
But how
know.
about you record it yourself?
I I do, yeah. I
Yeah.
have been doing. Although recently I've just started working with a producer for the first. I've been producing all my own stuff for the
Mm-hmm.
last 2 years, but recently I just worked with another guy, and oh my God, it felt
Called.
amazing. It just felt amazing to finally have bounce. I think when it comes to a producer, that's different.
Yeah.
I think working with a producer is brilliant. You need that person to bounce off, don't you?
And who's that
You know,
producer?
a guy called Barney. He's amazing. He's
Barney.
on this. Do you know what? And everyone keeps asking me what his last name is, and I don't actually know. It's
But
really
just
bad.
Barney.
But it's just Barney.
Maybe his name just Barney.
Maybe it is.
Maybe, you know.
And you know what? He's got the same name as my cat as well. So I
Oh,
felt
okay.
like instantly I was like, here's a good sign that it's going to work.
Wow.
Yeah. Because me and my cat are inseparable, really. So,
And you're telling people you're working with Barney, and people are like, he's getting pretty mad now. What happened to that guy after COVID? He's starting
yeah.
to work with his cats.
After he's finished catching some birds, he does an
Yeah.
amazing. Mate, honestly, you should hear the mix of his kick drum.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
But yeah, I think there's a lot in that. It's a weird thing. So have you just stopped all the writing sessions then when you're just working with mates, really?
Yeah, or like it was basically out of coincidence.
Yeah.
Because when I was finishing the album, I kind of realized that, oh, none of these songs were actually written in a session.
Whoa. Oh, so
They
you
were
didn't
all
even
just like,
notice.
no, I didn't even notice. One session was actually like, okay, we were sitting in a session with a girl called Monica Mack. She's amazing. And I hope one day she'll release songs in English because her voice is out of this world.
Wow.
Um, but we were, you know, sitting in the couch with she was writing in her book with a pen. Just that is pretty
Wow. So
not
real.
normal
Yeah.
anymore because people are using their computers or telephones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we were sitting in the couch with a guitar and a book and a pen, and it felt pretty old school.
Mm.
And
When you say you said something earlier, which was really interesting.
mhm,
I hope that she'll one day sing in English.
yeah,
Is that a kind of a is that quite a big thing for Swedish acts? Is singing in English like the next step up or something? Is that
almost. People either they start singing in English, and after a while, if it doesn't like, you know,
work?
work,
Yeah.
they start to release songs in Swedish. Or
Why? Why? Is it just easier to make it in Sweden or something?
usually people in Sweden they love to listen to Swedish music, and
Right.
especially in summer. Like this, usually every summer, the top 50 in Sweden are like 95% Swedish songs.
Wow.
Yes, so you're guaranteed a better streaming song in Swedish. But I've always been pretty like allergic to that before because I've been like, oh no, I don't want to release anything in Swedish until I'm 45 years old. But then
Right.
when COVID came, I felt like because I've had so many Swedish songs in my library, that's just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I need to pick these up, and because I couldn't go outside Sweden and focus on my career outside Sweden, I realized that maybe this is my time to release a Swedish album. But
Yes.
it
Oh my God, wow.
doesn't have to mean it doesn't have to be like, okay, the English career didn't work, so Now
Hmm.
I'm focusing on the Swedish songs. It's just like I'm basically doing both now, and
Hmm.
that's pretty sick because I'm feeling a lot more free. I can go into a session and we can start writing in English, and then I can be like, maybe this song is better in Swedish, and back and
And
the
would
opposite
it
around.
be would it be crazy, to have a song where half of it was in English and half of it was in Swedish? Would that work? Surely that's best of both, isn't it?
Actually, the a lot of the Swedish songs they actually use some English words in it.
Okay.
Because we're using a lot of English words in the language itself.
Mm.
So I have a few songs on the album where I actually have some English lines. I think
And what do you
uh,
think? What would you prefer?
I
What
do have
what's
it, don't I? They even wrote it in one of the reviews, like, oh, he's using a lot of English, blah blah blah. Like in my apartment song. I min lägenhet. I can't. Dark man. Dark man. No, I can't remember now, but I promise I will soon.
And so, what's better? What, in your opinion, what sounds better, singing in English or singing in Swedish?
Oh,
For you, like what do you
oh,
prefer?
it's way more easy to sing and write in English because
In English, right?
everything for us sounds better in English.
What?
Because we don't think in English. We think in Swedish. So as soon as we hear something in English, it sounds good immediately because
That's
we
crazy.
don't listen to the lyrics that carefully. But as soon as we write something in Swedish, you hear every single word and you
Oh,
can judge
wow.
it more,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
more and more.
yeah.
So it's for me, it's harder to write in Swedish, but it's also easier because it's easier to write the lyrics,
Mm,
but write better lyrics. It feels for me easier to write in English because everything sounds hooky
yeah.
and nice.
Is there quite? I don't know whether you. So in the Swedish world, I
Yeah,
don't know whether it's the same because in England, if you kind of do well here,
yeah,
Europe is kind of also kind of knows about you. I remember when
mm,
we first got some success in the UK, and then when we went to Europe, pretty much most countries, most of the shows were sold out because everyone, all eyes were on the UK. Is
yeah.
that the same in Sweden, or is it not something? If you do well in Sweden, are the chances that you're going to do well in Germany? Are France going to know about you? Is the UK going to know? Does it translate over that well?
It 100% depends on if the song is in Swedish or in English.
What?
Yes, because if you're having a number one in Swedish, you can't do that much with that song.
Really?
Like
Yeah.
it's okay, then happy for you, man. It's a great song in Sweden.
Yeah.
But if you're having a number one and it's in English,
It's
then
everywhere, yeah.
you can start to you know you can show that to Germany or to German managements and be like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
song is
yeah.
pretty big here, and then they feel like, oh, if it works in Sweden, it probably works here. But if it's in Swedish, it's like, okay, we will never play a Swedish song on the French radio,
They just never would. Well, you
you
know
know.
what? They've got a
Or
law in
maybe
France as well.
someday, I don't know.
I think they have a law in France where they have to play, I think 60%. I don't know. Someone
Yes,
correct me if
yes.
it's wrong. Yeah. Is it 60% has to be in French or something like that?
I think, at least I think because I released a song which went pretty good in France last year called "The Dirt."
Yeah.
It was on the radio all the
Right.
time, which is amazing. But I never got the chance to hear it myself on the radio because I was here in Sweden. Uh, but but we had Kungs, the DJ
What?
Kungs, dun 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 dun
Oh,
dun
yeah.
dun
Right,
dun.
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
So
Okay, yeah. I
so
thought you were
Kungs
saying something
was
else then.
no. So Kungs was a producer on that song, which I think helped so that the radio could feel like, oh, but we can play the song because we've got French people,
Yeah,
uh, you know,
yeah. That's so
producing
interesting,
or
isn't it?
writing the song.
So have you got a kind of are you signed to a label or something like that?
I'm signed to a label in France. Yes.
Oh, in France, but not
Yeah.
in Sweden.
Or in Sweden as well. Yeah.
Okay,
Called
right. And
10 Records.
oh,
Independent.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an independent.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
I've always been independent since I got signed to 10 when I was 16,
Okay.
and I've been here
Yeah.
since then.
Wow. And you've just been building it up slowly with them.
Yeah, and that was my manager, or my record label
Hmm.
boss, Ola Håkansson. He told me when I was like 17, because I've been famous in Sweden since I was a kid because I'm from a musical family. So everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people knew who I was even before I released music. So he
Wow.
told me, if, for you it's gonna be a challenge to be that artist you want to become, because
Hmm.
people won't listen to you the way that you want them to.
Well, they have all
Uh,
these preconceptions of
yeah,
you, don't they?
yeah.
They have these connotations. Yeah.
So he told me,
Wow.
like, I think probably 3 to 5 years, and then you'll start to feel a difference between the audience.
So
So
is that
it's
because
been,
is that because they have a view of what they want you to sound like, or is that they're sort of like, oh, is it that they're dismissive of you because you're famous?
yeah,
Is it that kind of thing that, oh, oh, he's already kind of, he didn't have to put the work in? Is it that kind of
exactly,
feeling?
just
Right.
like that.
And it's
And
interesting, isn't it? Because if anything, you have to put more work in.
100%,
You know?
100%. Even when I was, because I was doing musicals when I was younger.
Right.
I had my first lead role in a musical when I was 8.
Wow.
And I had to do the audition for that one, and they asked me my name, and I didn't want to tell them what my name was, because then they would probably like, "Oh,
Judge you or
okay,
something,
yeah,
yeah.
judge me." Uh, but I got that part, and I did when I was 14. I did my 11th musical. So I was working from 8 to 14, and
Wow.
like
I think
working as a,
I think I was just sort of trying to really complete Grand Theft Auto, on the PlayStation. You ever played that?
no, I've
That
never
was my
played it.
main my main goal, and to get the hovercraft in Diddy Kong Racing.
Okay,
That's
yeah, yeah.
it's an N64 game. That was what I was doing
Okay.
while you were doing 14 musicals. Right, anyway, carry on.
No,
Right,
but
carry on.
that's also an achievement. As I told you
Thank you,
before,
mate.
you can't compare. You can't compare. Two different
So,
stories.
so you were doing the musical thing,
Yes.
and then the
And I
singing thing sort of
and
crept in.
I was writing music since, like, during that time, but only in my room.
Right, right.
And I was those uh, all these kind of shows. And then when I got 15, I wanted to become a normal kid, and then I got
Mm,
asked to be part of this Dancing with the Stars.
okay,
And I was
right.
16 years old, and I was like, but I'm not famous for anything than my musical career, which was like 3 years ago. And then they paid me pretty good, and so I thought, oh, if I get this money, I can buy a studio and I can start to work after this, and hopefully become a
Mm,
songwriter. So I said yes to that show, and it took me 15 weeks, and then I finally won. So I
wow.
won the Dancing with the Stars when I was 16, and after that, I knew that now I want to, shut the door and be inside and write music until I'm
Yeah.
feeling ready. And I only wanted to become a songwriter because I thought that people won't listen to me if they know who's the singer,
Wow.
because now they do not only see me as this musical kid with famous parents, they also now see me as this dancer from Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, so it wasn't anything to do with singing this. This was
No,
purely just, you were just dancing
purely
around.
entertainment.
So what
uh,
exactly are you doing then? You just sort of, so a song comes on and you sort of, you just do a routine as
no,
such.
no, yeah, I'm learning a couple dance. What's par dance? It's like when you're dancing with someone else. You're dancing with a
Oh,
girl.
okay, yeah, couple
Cha-cha,
dance. Yeah.
tango,
Oh, right. Well, so
uh,
like, a little bit like we've got
silly,
Strictly Come
Strictly
Dancing,
Come Dancing.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same show.
Oh, it's the same.
Yeah, so Dancing with the
Right.
Stars, I think the show is called with the Stars in the US.
Oh, okay,
Strictly Come
okay.
Dancing, yeah.
And so you won that.
I won
Okay.
that.
Wow.
So when I came to this record label when I was 16, 17, and my record label boss, Ola, when he knew that he was going to listen to me, he was like, but that's not that kind of artist we sign.
Mm.
And so that was his thought of me. And then he
So
looked,
he's got all these preconceptions as well,
yeah, yeah.
and in and you know, are they quite a cool label then? Is that
Oh
what he's
yeah,
basically
100%,
saying? And
100%.
you're and you know, and then there's this sort of pretty boy dancing
Yeah,
around, and it's like, mate,
I came to this label, and they had like five artists, which were Sar Larsson,
oh
Icona
yeah,
Pop,
yeah,
Elephant, Nicky and the
okay,
Dove, so very like cool
cool,
artists.
yeah.
And then this little guy from Strictly Come Dancing came and was like, I also want to be an artist, or I actually just wanted to be a songwriter.
Yeah.
But then Ola listened to a song, my first song called "Fall in Love," and um, and he paused the song after 30 seconds, and he was like, "Did he write this himself?" And they were like, "Yes." Okay, then I need to sign him now. So he was pretty convinced that I was actually good.
Wow. Just from
But
30
that's when he knew.
seconds.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he was like, this guy doesn't write songs that sounds today. He writes songs like old school songs with the melodies that they wrote in the 80s or 70s, and that's because I grew up with those kind of songs.
Right.
And that's also when he knew, oh shit, this is gonna take a long time for people to understand, because even I didn't
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
that he actually wrote the songs himself. So it's been a journey, but now it finally feels like people in Sweden are accepting that
Yeah.
I'm actually an artist and a
That you're
songwriter.
actually good. I think that's the
That I'm
thing, isn't it?
actually pretty
Yeah.
good. Yes, hopefully, yeah.
And so you were also, I mean, I've kind of like I haven't really dived into too much about it at
No,
all
no, no.
really, but you did Eurovision,
Yes, I
right?
did. Yeah,
And was that would you say was that because I haven't seen it or heard it, but was it your song?
it was my song.
And
Yes.
so it had that feeling of the 80s disco vibe
It
to
did.
it.
It was
Amazing.
it was a modern homage to George Michael and Julio Iglesias.
What a
Uh,
dream. That must have been amazing, right?
it was amazing. It was a journey for sure. Uh, but still, then it was people were still like, okay, because for me it sounds 80s, but
That's a good thing, right? That
and
that was the point.
that was the point. But for some people it just sounded modern because it was a modern production. So
Hmm.
I kind of
Yeah.
had to show the
Did you
Swedish audience that I could do more after
did you
that.
get given control over it? Were you kind of in charge? Was it?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
100%.
they
Me,
let you take the reins
yeah,
on
and
it.
Louis Shore, the producer on that song, and Mag wrote "My House" with Flo Rida.
Okay, right.
So they are amazing producers and
Yeah.
songwriters from the US. So we wrote that in Los Angeles, and it was amazing. The only problem with the Eurovision was that when we got there and we were supposed to perform the song, they had this rule that you can't use the background vocals on the track.
Okay.
Uh,
Is that a problem for you for your song, I
and
guess?
that's a very big problem for my song, because the song was basically based on
The
like a
BVs, yeah.
stack of vocals, auto-tuned and compromised,
So why was that?
because that's the rule that Eurovision has. They
Oh,
actually changed it this
so
year.
everyone's singing has to be real, is
Yes,
essentially. Is that what
and
you said? So could you have got
you can only have 3 to 4 background vocals backstage.
okay, and how many had you got?
3 or 4.
Three. Okay, so they were basically doing their best, but the whole point of the song was to have this. It was almost like an instrumental part in a way. You know,
100%,
it was a
because
pad.
the only chorus was production wise was just a bass line.
Oh God.
And when it's you say compressed.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
compressed. Yeah.
So if you have a bass line and a
Hmm.
kick,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and you have like 40 to 50 stacks of vocals, very compressed and super tight
yeah, yeah, yeah,
in the car, it sounds amazing when it's mixed pretty good and it's
yeah,
mastered.
yeah. Mastered. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mastered, yeah.
Nailed it again.
So now listen to a song with a bass line, a kick, a guy with just some reverb on stage singing in falsetto, and you have four guys backstage trying to like manage that 50 vocal stack.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound the way it's supposed to.
So you're telling me that you came last then?
No. I came seventh, so that was
Oh,
pretty
that's
good.
all right.
That's all right. and
That's
and
okay,
and
man.
I got second place from the jury, and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
the audience, I don't know, pretty low. Yes. and I
To be
thought
honest,
and I
we
thought
can't
this was
talk.
my and I thought like this is my breakthrough.
Yeah.
And then
Did
I
it?
was like,
What did it do? What did it do? Do you know? Did you
it
see?
gave me a lot of fans,
Really?
and a huge amount of fans.
Because if you do Eurovision in the UK, you know, I got asked to represent
Oh, okay.
England for Eurovision a couple of years ago, and my manager said to me, it would be creative, no, industry suicide
Yeah.
if for me to do it, because in the UK it's
No, it's
just
not a
not
big
what it
thing.
is. Yeah,
No.
I mean
And
it's a big thing, but it's just not cool. It's just everything has to be cool here,
I
you
can
know.
tell you this. In Sweden, we have this pre-contests before going to Eurovision.
Right,
And I'm not kidding. This is 6 shows every Saturday from January to March.
right.
And like, not music people, and I mean like whole Sweden are going Eurovision full on.
What?
That's the only thing that people are talking about, and it's commercials everywhere, and people are because you have four semifinals and then one second chance, and then you go to the full final where they're like 12 contestants, and they're all like competing for this number one to compete in Eurovision. And this festival is called Melodifestivalen, and
Yeah.
Melodifestivalen is much bigger in Sweden than Eurovision Song Contest.
Even though it's the contest to get into the contest,
Yes,
essentially.
but
It's
Melodifestivalen is
auditions.
the big shit, and it's a big production, and it's like it's the big it's an arena with like 30,000 people every Saturday, and it's like
Wow.
40% of the country are watching it every Saturday.
Why?
So it's a big thing because it's a music like Melodifestivalen has been this big since the 70s.
It just has. It just,
ABBA won the Melfest, and then that's how they became ABBA.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Wow.
also, yeah, we've had some almost the biggest artists here in Sweden got famous because of
Because
Melodifestivalen.
of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's a shame. I sometimes feel like the UK just doesn't really have any kind of avenues to really blow up, really. You know, the radio doesn't really do it these days.
No.
PR doesn't really. Talent competitions are kind of a joke. There's not really a specific thing. I don't know whether that's because the UK. I think we've almost been our own worst enemy. We've been so obsessed with being cool for so
Yeah.
long that now nothing's really cool and
No.
nothing's really interesting
But
either.
like I love the UK, and I love all of your artists and music and stuff. But I was writing in London 2 years
Mm,
ago, and I've been working in Los Angeles for 5 years, back and
hmm.
forth. and I love it over there because people
Yeah.
are amazing and very open-minded, and I love to write over there, and they're great songwriters and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
my um, how do you say? I'm searching for a word. My experience
Hmm.
from working in London was that, as you said, people were a bit too cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I would say, let's say I had an idea, and they were like, it's not that cool. And if you're having that as a mindset in the session,
Yeah.
you're forcing yourself to do something that maybe is is
Well, this
just
is the
too
thing.
cool for the song.
It's like it's interesting, isn't it? Because there's the word cool, but there's also, you know, it's like, are they saying it's not cool, or are they saying they don't like it? You know,
No, they're
because
saying
that's
it's not that cool.
yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? Does it even need to be anymore? Because like for my whole life,
No.
I've constantly had to write songs that I felt were sort of dark and sad.
Yeah.
Like all my songs have always been very sad, right?
Yeah.
They've always been emotional and sad because I've always, I think this is what I've realized now. I was really struggling
Hmm.
to be able to write a song that was happy and cool
Okay. Yeah.
because it's hard to do that.
Oh,
It's
it's
really
very
hard.
hard. Yeah.
But if you
100%.
can,
Mm.
it's the best payoff ever. You know,
I
getting that
totally agree.
sweet
I totally
spot.
agree. Yeah.
Because it's so easy to write a sad song. You know, it's a lot easier for a sad song to be cool than it is for a happy song. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the
100%.
but I just think that's such a cop out because you can end up kind of just falling into this hole of only writing sad songs, which
Yeah.
I have done for a long
So
time.
listen, someone just wrote, the problem is that cool isn't cool anymore.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
interesting.
Like
It is true. Yeah.
for me, coolness is when you can do something that you love
Hmm.
100%
Yeah.
and you own that shit.
Yeah. I
That's
think
that
coolness
is
is
cool for
being
me.
cool is being real, I think, and
Yeah.
being honest, you know.
Yeah.
And especially I've found in my whole, I don't know about you with your persona, as you know, I've always tried for the last like 5 or 6 years. I've always tried to be very cool, and all the photos I used to put on Instagram were very
Mm.
cool. And
Yeah.
on stage, I wouldn't talk too much. I'd just let the music do the talking, man. And then it's like,
Yeah.
and then in the last year or so,
Yeah.
I've just dropped that crap now. I'm just like, this is
And
me. I'm a
that's right.
fuzzy-haired weird man, and I think that's cool, man. To be
100%.
yourself,
Yeah.
you know.
And also I that is a way of I think just finding yourself.
Yeah, as a person, not even
Every
in
person.
music.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, as a person, but also in the music business, every artist has to go through that journey where they try to do something that they think they love, and then they
Mm.
realize, oh shit, but I really do love this, but is that good enough, or is that too cool, or like, or is it too
Yeah,
not cool?
yeah,
And for me, I'm pretty famous here in Sweden because of my background.
yeah.
And
But it's also because of the things you've done. You know, you do talk a lot
yeah.
about how I don't think you give yourself enough credit here, mate. You know what I mean?
Uh, no,
You've done great things. Obviously,
thank you.
you've had some help though. But do
Oh
you
yeah,
sometimes
100%.
feel in your mind? Do you have a little bit of imposter syndrome sometimes? Almost like, you know, do you in a way wish sometimes that you hadn't started as a famous kid?
Mm,
Because it must have helped. You know, you've used it in a good
oh,
way.
it helped a lot. It helped when it came to me getting to know the business
Yeah, yeah.
at a very young age.
Hmm.
Um, and if I come to a set today, I basically know everyone around the set, the cameraman, because oh, that's you from
Yeah, you
the
grew
thing I
up with them.
did. I
Yeah.
grew up with you, or but now I got to the point in my life
Mm.
where I released an album in Swedish that was an homage to musicals.
Yeah.
And I'm
Wow.
singing, and I last week I sang with an orchestra with 75 people, and I felt like this little Benji kid that was on Broadway. And
Uh,
I had a suit, and it was not that cool. Uh, if I was
but it's still
talking to
quite
myself,
epic, though.
if I was talking to myself 3 years ago, I would have
Yeah.
said that's not cool. But now, because I'm doing it 100%. For me, I feel like the coolest kid on earth
Yeah, man.
because I'm doing what I love.
And that's it.
But
You know what? That's
also,
everything, isn't it? That's everything. You
it's
just have
everything.
to
But
love it.
also, uh, I love also to stand on a club stage
Mm.
with and dancing like George Michael and doing like funky ass pop songs
Yeah.
just as much. So it's,
Yeah.
I can do both, and I think
It's
that's
weird,
the
isn't it,
thing.
that when you're in music, you almost have to. Oh no, that's what you do. You can't do it. You can't do all these things. You've got to be that one person that does
Exactly.
that one
Fuck no.
thing.
You can just have Italian dinner for the rest of your
Yeah.
life. But I want sushi tonight.
Yeah.
No,
No, but you're really good at Italian.
you're really good
Yes.
at Italian.
We like it. Yeah.
Yes,
It's not what you want to do. It's what we want you to do. That's
exactly.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
But maybe like
Amazing.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't tell a chef to open a restaurant with thousands of different
Yeah.
foods. But
Yeah.
it's
This is the
different.
thing, isn't it?
But
Yeah.
it's different when it comes to music.
But I think it is in a way where, I'm not gonna, go into grime,
No.
but I can, I've done ballads and now I'm going into a sort of a pop, bluesy, poppy thing, which
Hmm?
is it's a similar transition.
Yeah.
It's all about progression, isn't it? And transferring over slightly and taking inspiration. It's whatever you want to do at the time. I think that's the beauty of what we do. It's just like
100%.
whatever you want, and you're very lucky that you have an amazing label that obviously will go
Yes.
with what you feel,
They're amazing. They're amazing.
yeah, I think that's the most important thing. Having a team around you that kind of go, okay, you want to do that? Cool.
Yeah.
Let's try and make that happen.
And they can also be honest and be like, okay, just so you know, this might not go blah 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 blah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They let you know
Amazing.
that. But they
Yeah,
still
they definitely do. Yeah.
but if you're like 100% sure, I want this,
Hmm.
then they're having your back.
Yeah, man. Wow, this has been amazing to chat. We're actually nearly
It's
coming
been,
up to
oh
the
shit.
hour.
It's been
Yeah,
like, it feels like it's
time
been 10
flies.
minutes. Time
I
flies,
know.
man.
I have that effect on people. Yeah.
But
So honestly, thank you so much.
where in the UK do you stay? In London?
So I was in London. I'm now in Northampton, a small town called
Oh,
Northampton, which I love. I've
wow.
just won the local hero award actually for it, which has been quite nice. But but yeah,
What?
it's just a little town outside London, and
The
it's
local hero award.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
that's insane. Are you having a physical award as well?
yeah. It's
You have it in your
I'm very
house.
no, it's in the post at the
Okay,
moment.
okay.
Yeah, it's
That
on the
that
way.
congrats, man. That's
I
sick.
know, thank you, mate. Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
it's a great place to live, and I feel like it's had bad press for a long time, so I'm trying to put it
Mm,
on the map. Um,
cool.
but
You're doing it
genuinely,
now.
dude, yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
am. Yes, it's been a pleasure, mate.
It's been likewise, my friend.
It's really good to chat to someone who's from such a different world
Yeah.
in the scene, but still it feels at home in a way. There's a lot of
Yeah,
similarities between us, even though we've lived very different lives and our careers are so different. Um,
definitely.
and I love this podcast because I really do get to chat to some
Me
interesting
too. Me
people,
too.
And
Yeah.
this has been one of the most interesting podcasts I've ever done. So thank you
Oh,
so much.
thanks, man.
Cheers.
Thank you so. Likewise, likewise.
Thank you, man. And
And
next time I'm
in
in
English as well.
Sweden,
So, oh,
I'll
I'll
give you a
take good care
shout.
of you. I'll
Yeah,
take
man.
good care of you. Let's
I've
write
only
songs and
played.
have good food.
Yeah, let's write. Actually, that'd be great. I
Yeah.
mean, I've only played there twice, but it was a bit
Where?
odd. I did. My first show was a pub. Um,
Okay.
well, no, it's like a really small bar called. Oh God, I can't remember.
In Stockholm.
Kafluten? Yeah, Stockholm. Might have been the
Kafluten.
Maybe it's
Kafluten.
that. I can't remember actually. And then the second gig was at the Dome in the arena
Oh, wow.
with ELO. Do you know Electric Light Orchestra? It's like a old rock band from the 70s.
No, I don't.
They did that Mr. Blue Sky song.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And when was this?
Um, this was 2 years ago.
Wow.
So it's a bit crazy. I did, my
Okay,
first
so
show was like 50 people, and then it was
yeah.
30,000 or something.
Okay, so hopefully you'll be back in Stockholm
100%,
when
man.
everything is
Well,
normal.
yeah, when we can. Yeah.
When we
But
can.
brilliant. Thank you, mate. All right.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
I'll
you.
see you soon.
See you soon, man. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
How do I do this?
Oh, same. Uh, Leave.